That's how I like to do it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back once again to Hot Toys Hotline Live, episode 116. I hope
Jeez.
everybody's doing well on this fine Tuesday evening. I want to take a second to thank everybody that reached out to me. You guys saw my posts on Facebook and Instagram and stuff about my pet. And I really was overwhelmed by the amount of people that reached out and said, like, hey, we hope your pet does better. We hope, he heals up. And right now it's just kind of like in the air. I don't know what's going to happen because like the vets have been like unsure. It's been very expensive. And obviously, like with anything with pets, it's very traumatizing because it's just an awful experience. So, I'm hopeful that things will take a turn for the better, but I do appreciate everybody that's reached out to me. It truly means a lot. I felt so bad, number one, going on vacation for a week, missing a week, and then missing an additional week after that. But I just, my head just wasn't in it. And at the same time, I was taking care of all that stuff. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys. Trust me, it means a lot. When you're going through stuff like that, whether it's family or pets, like just that message, just to say like, hey, I'm thinking about you. It's very important. So I appreciate that, guys. I really do. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. It's great to be back. With that being said, because it's still up in the air with my pet and everything that's going on, I'm going to try to keep this stream a bit on the shorter side. We're still going to talk about all of the new stuff from this past week. I would have loved to do like May 4th predictions and stuff. And that's what I would have wanted to do for this week. Maybe, depending on what our timing's looking like, we can throw some in at the end just for fun. But again, I'm going to try to keep the stream a little bit shorter just because I want to like be available for my pet in case he needs me. But with that being said, I'm very happy to be here. I felt like I had to be here. I felt like that would be good for me to be on here and be with you guys. And there's a lot of really exciting stuff this week. Right, Lane? We got an Emperor Palpatine / Darth Sidious because you kind of got a little bit of both, which made me, of course, pre-order 2 of them. I'm going to spoil it right off the bat. I already ordered 2 of them.
Hey, man, we all have a little Nate Meister in our DNA. We just don't know it.
It's Star Wars, man. I'm a sucker for anything Star Wars.
I know.
But
well, hey, we're going to talk. I know that's one thing we'll talk about with that figure tonight is like, is that the quintessential, like Palpatine? Like
yes, and I actually do have a topic written up for that I'm going to pull up on the screen, and I do have the original Palpatine pulled up, so hold that thought, Lane. We're definitely going to talk about that. It's a great idea, because I had the same idea. So, Lane, thanks so much for being here. Mike, as always,
I'm just following in the trail of genius.
Right, it's a great idea because it was his first.
Right, so you're echoing my thoughts. But thanks for being here, guys. Chris potentially might make it, like I said. I say we'll be on the shorter side. I'm going to try my best, but with Star Wars, you start nerding out. So who knows? And I got some, interesting stuff. And then the Feral Predator, guys. I could talk for hours about the Predator stuff. So who knows? Who knows how long that's going to take? But as everybody's popping in, of course, I'm going to say what's up to everybody. I already see some guys. You guys are too kind. Steve, thank you so much, my friend. Figures and fan of my boy Steve, a channel member and a great friend. Steve has been a Hotline Hottie for 13 months. Actually, before they were called the Hotline Hottie. So I do appreciate that, Steve. Thank you so much. Steve was one of the people that has reached out to me multiple times. And like you said, updates on my pet and stuff. So I do appreciate you, my friend, as well as many people in here, everybody on the panel, everybody. So I do appreciate it. Steve says, guys, Mike has the goated hats. Need that Bish one. Dude, I mean, like I said, Steve, I remember in the chat you said I would get a free hat and, where's my hat, man? I don't even wear hats, and I would wear your hat, but hasn't shown up, man. Put in all this work being your friend for nothing, I guess. Of course, I'm just joking. But
I was actually looking for my Figures and Fandom one, but I think it's in the car, so I just had to throw this one on. But this will do for tonight, hopefully, Steve. Yeah.
I think Steve is pleased.
This is an artist that Steve and I were hanging out with at Comic-Con. Ben Bishop. He draws all the TMNT stuff now.
That's awesome.
Last Ronin, like all the big stuff. Yeah.
I love stuff like that where it's like the average person would see it and not know what it is. I think there's something cool about that where you have to explain it and they're like, oh, that's really cool. I like stuff like that. One Adam 12, another channel member and a great friend. Adam, thank you so much for being here, my dude. I hope you're doing well. Adam says, need all the Palpatines. Good. Channel member for 14 months, a Hotline Hottie. Well, thank you so much, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Guys, as always, we have our goals set. I call it the figure fund. Right now, it's the ferret fund because this vet, dude, when they put the name exotic on a pet, the vet bills go like this. So it's been hurting, but like I said to friends of mine, I'm like, there's no price that you wouldn't pay for your pets, So it's worth spending the money, to give him that chance. But it's been a very expensive time. I just got back from vacation. Of course, I was in Florida with Chris. Of course, you spent money, boatloads of money, and then I come back, and then this. I'm like, dude, I'm freaking tapped. I guess Lane got his statue. Lane was telling me
I just had a thing saying it delivered, and I'm like, just went out and saw the box was there, and I just went, oh my god,
dude,
what
that's
the
great.
hell is up with the size of this?
Is it an XM statue?
No, the XM can't get stuff out of their own.
I know, they're basically done.
But no, this is a Prime 1.
Oh, Prime 1, yeah.
But
at least it fits in one box, Lane.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be about a third of the size less.
What is it, Lane?
God.
What is it?
It is a Batman statue.
Oh, from the Batman? That one?
No, it's Hellbat. From the comic storyline. It's a big black.
Yeah, before Lane explained it to me, I was like, Hellbat.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's
really that's cool. Awesome. Dude.
I had no clue. Yeah. But he did explain it to me.
Yeah.
I love that one, dude.
Yeah. I'll in the private chat after I'll send you guys a link so you can.
Yeah, I definitely want to take a look at it.
I've seen it.
You guys are too kind. I feel like I'm like pandering. I'm sorry, guys, but I just I wanted to share it with you because I feel bad for taking off, but it was just like a really unexpected thing. But Valk, $20 super chat. You are too kind, my friend. That's a lot of money. I do appreciate it. Valk says I want to help with the pet fund. I do appreciate that. I really do because like I said, it was a lot of money, man. It really is. Like I said, every dime of it is worth it, even if it doesn't work out how I want it to. It's every dime's worth it. I do appreciate that. You guys are making me smile. I appreciate it. And Sneaky as well. Thank you so much, my friend. You guys are spending your hard-earned money. I appreciate it. You're too kind. The $5 super chat. Sneaky says, "Hope this little guy gets better soon." I do too, man. I'm very hopeful. But of course, it's just everything's uncertain. When it's such an uncertain thing, it could go either way,
Man, I'm very hopeful.
And thank you so much. I'm hearing myself twice. I had to look. Was that you, Mike? I could see it in your eyes. You're like, oh shit. Gio, my friend, thank you so much as well. $5 super chat, $4.99 to be exact for the pet fund. Well, thank you so much, guys. That really does make me smile. And again, I just appreciate all the kind words and stuff like this. And Lane, thank you, guys. It really does mean a lot to me.
I wanted to get on the chat so that I could like the video. So whenever I'm on the panel, I'm not liking the show. So
thank you, Lane. Lane said, "Here's the big man. How many Grogu's you're buying?" Lane, I'm not buying any Grogu's as of right now. If I do, I'll be letting go of the sideshow one. But the sideshow one is just like as accurate as it can get. So I'm like, I feel like that's like the epitome. That's like the best.
Yeah, but the other one, you can actually sit him down.
I do like that, and I like the bag. I don't think I would ever use the bag unless I wore it for like a costume or something. But that is a very good price point at $275. I will say, very good. But thank guys again. Thank you so much. $270. Thank you so much, guys. I very much do appreciate it. You guys are too kind, and it means a lot to me. It means like the dollar amount is nothing. It's just the thought that counts. I really do appreciate it. And then Adam as well. You guys are the best. Adam with the $10 super chat. You guys are too kind, really. Adam says, "I hope your pet gets better." Well, thank you, Adam. Thank you, everybody. It means a lot to me. And again, it's been a rough week for me, so trust me when I say this. Being here with you guys and you guys being so kind in the chat, it means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate it.
So,
and one more thing, Lane, and I'll jump to you. Steve has been calling my ferret Boba Ferret. Guys, you have to stop. You guys are, come on, guys. You guys are going to make me cry or something. Steve's been calling my ferret Boba Ferret, and I was like, that's kind of fitting. I missed out because his name's Rocket because he looks kind of like Rocket Raccoon. So he's Rocket, and his sister is Gamora. I know some people are like, that's, it should be Star-Lord and Gamora, but he just looked too much like Rocket. He had it in the eyes and everything, so I had to call him that. But I do like Boba Ferret. I feel like I missed out. I should have called him Boba Ferret. Thank you so much, Steve, for the $2 super chat, my friend. You are too kind. Sal as well. Sal, dude, $10. I appreciate it, man. Sal says, "I know how it is with pets. With the pets, I'm a regular at the vet, unfortunately, but glad to help out." I appreciate that, man. Like I said, from the bottom of my heart, guys, it means a lot to me. It really does. But yeah, it's rough, especially with the uncertainty. And I know, I'm not alone in this. A lot of you guys can relate to this. We've all, had experiences with pets, and especially when it's unexpected, it sucks, man. It really does. But again, guys, I truly, it means a lot to me. Mike as well, dude. I appreciate it, my friend. $10. You guys are spending your hard-earned money. You could be buying Hot Toys for all this money. But I do appreciate it. And like I said, I spent a lot of money this past week, and even the small amount, any of it, just means the world to me, because it's just going to help a little bit with that bill. Because it, like I said, coming back from vacation, a week vacation in Florida, spending all that money, is really bad timing. Steve, I can't rename him, especially if he's like potentially on death's door. I feel like that's wrong. He's got to keep his same name, but Steve said his name is Boba Fett now. Steve, thank you so much, my friend.
If you're really going to do it, you should call him Boba Ferricini. You got Boba Fettuccine, Boba Ferricini.
In honor of Boba Fettuccine. Well, guys, once again, thank you so much. You very, very much are touching my heart here, and I do appreciate it. I'm going to try to read your guys' comments because obviously we've kind of gotten sidetracked. But again, guys, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I know I've said that 1,000 times, but I'm kind of at a loss for words because you guys are the best. We got Boba Fettuccine in the house, a channel member and a good friend, and we were just talking about you, Boba Fettuccine. What's up, my dude? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. Another great friend, a moderator, and a channel member, my boy Al, Sneaky Figures in the house. What's up, my dude? I hope you're doing well. As always, thank you for being here. Let's see. Boba Fettuccine says, what's up, fellow... I'm reading this incorrectly. How are the fellow Hotline Hotties? I'm doing well, especially because of you guys. Kind of lifted my spirits. I do appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. And thank you so much for being here, as always. And thank you for the $5 super chat. Again, guys, you're killing me. You guys are too kind. Boba Fettuccine with the $5 super chat. Boba Fettuccine says, I have a cat, a dog, 5 snakes, 2 lizards. I know this shit gets pricey. Hope your little one gets well soon. Thank you so much. And yeah, it's kind of like that for us. We kind of have like a little zoo in our house. I have 2 ferrets, 2 cats, bearded dragon, and my girlfriend, I think he's a gecko. She's had him for a long time. He's like, I think 12 or 13 years old. Don't know what type of gecko it is. But
sounded like you said your girlfriend is a gecko, so I just want to make sure
she could be a gecko, but she has a gecko. She has a gecko. So yes, we do have a mini zoo in our house as well. But yeah, especially with like the animals that are considered exotic, like ferrets, a lot of reptiles and stuff like that. Sugar gliders, I think, are considered exotic as well. That exotic name just shoots up the vet bills. And I was stupid and I didn't get pet insurance on them, even though I considered it many times. So yeah. Probably could have saved a little money there if I did that in the long run, but you live and you learn, Justin, my dude, how you figure? I love this guy, and I heard from Justin the other day because, Justin's been kind of like finding his way on YouTube because he has so many interests and he's so good at so many different things when it comes to like movie reviews, and he's into a lot of the stuff like I am, like the Disney toy announcements and stuff like that, just all kinds of stuff. And it's so cool to see that he's kind of come to a point where he could do 1/6 scale stuff and do other stuff at the same time. And I think he's doing some really awesome videos over there on his channel. And I highly recommend checking him out and supporting him. Justin he's one of the best out there. And also he's a Hotline Hottie, so I guess you can't really get better than that because we are the best, right? Of course, I'm just joking. But Justin, thank you so much, my friend. A Hotline Hottie for 13 months. Sure. Always great to see you. And I hope you're doing well.
Justin is the man. Justin, I was listening to your video yesterday in the car about the figures to not sleep on. It was a great video. I was driving. I couldn't comment, but I left a like.
Dude, I watch everybody's videos. You could ask anybody. My YouTube is literally broken. I don't comment anymore because no one sees my comments. Unless they sort by newest, there's something going on with it's like really? I didn't like talk crap to anybody. I don't know why it's doing that, but yeah. I've tested it with like Graham, Jedi Night's Watch, with freaking Brick Artemis, like with multiple people.
Really?
I don't know what it is. Jose, he saw it himself. Like, I don't know what's going on.
I hate when I can't leave a comment. And, it's weird. Like, I keep getting unsubbed from Brick's channel. Like, yeah, YouTube's weird.
You're like, I don't know what's going on. I just keep unsubbing from
Yeah, Brick, don't take it personally. It's a glitch.
Yeah. Right. Another $2. Steve, stop spending your money. Thank you, Steve. Steve says Luke Sky Whisker. That's crazy, dude. Look, maybe I'll have to give him multiple nicknames. Maybe I'll have to give him, he'll be Rocket, a.k.a. Boba Fett, a.k.a. Luke Sky. That's a good cat name as well. It might be, like, over time get tiresome because it's so long. But, guys, I'm going to go through. I want to quickly go through the comments, at least say hi to everybody. We got Peyton in the house saying, hello, everyone, a moderator, and a great friend. What's up, Peyton? We got Curtis Booth in the house. Curtis says, hey, everyone. Hope everyone is having a great day. How's it going, Curtis? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. Again, Gio, thank you so much for being here, my friend. As always, I hope you're doing well. We said hi to Valk. Let's see. One Adam 12 says Hotline Hottie Strikes Back. Yes, I love that. The best movie of all time. It's my opinion, but I love Empire Strikes Back. We got Tim Harvey in the house. What's up, my dude? Guys, if you haven't already, check out the Caustic Plastic Facebook group on Facebook. Tim is the original creator of the group. It's a great group. I think it's like 700-800 members plus strong. I highly recommend it if you're into the caustic plastic stuff. It's really, really a great group. Great place to discuss the very niche, unique figures that Caustic makes. My boy Chunker. Chunker said, sorry to hear that, bro. Hope all goes well. Well, thank you so much, dude. Me too. I hope everything works out, but, you know, that's all you could do sometimes is hope. You know what they say, rebellions were built on hope. Clone Trooper, what's up, Clone Trooper? He says, the dark side is strong this week. Yes, it is. A lot of really awesome stuff. We got Illusion Entity in the house, and guys, I'm kind of going through them quickly, so I do apologize if I miss some. Surprisingly, Chris said he was going to be super late or not make it at all, so I'm pleasantly surprised to see Chris in the house. What's up, Chris? What's up, my dude? Thank you for making it in. Relatively on time, considering I thought you weren't going to make it.
Still earlier than I get here most weeks,
Yeah,
so I'm impressed.
For some reason, it was lagging letting me in, but I'm in my car on the way home.
Oh, that's how you
It's
made it.
my wife and it's my wife and I's anniversary. So if it's not over by the time I get home, which it'll take me a bit to get home anyway, then you know I gotta dip out. But
We'll
just
see what we
wanted to
can do.
join in on the talk, Yeah,
we'll see what we can do. Thanks for being here, dude, especially mobile. I know it's kind of difficult, but we got Illusion Entity in the house. He says, checking in from the UK, Great Britain. What's up, dude? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here and also making time. He said rain check on the hat. That's crazy. That's crazy, rain check on that. That's okay. I'll let it slide. We got Andrew in the house. What's up, Andrew? Love the profile picture, by the way. Andrew says, yo, what's up, Andrew? Thank you so much for being here, my friend. I think I got another super chat. You guys are the best, man. Thank you so much. Justin says, full screen of Mike L for 10 seconds, please, if you're taking requests. Well, I can't deny that. So let's awkwardly make him sit here. Are we giving him 10 real? I'll let him have 10 in the Ren and Stimpy shirt, dude.
Subject you to little Ren and Stimpy. Best cartoon of all time. My son is still a little too young for it, but I have them all on disc. One day he will enjoy them.
Yeah, there's some mature themes that I think we didn't appreciate a while ago, but yeah. Love Ren and Stimpy, classic.
It's the last real animation that we saw on television. It's really great. So I hope that was all right for you.
Look, we'll give you. We can't do real seconds; they're quick seconds, right?
Yeah,
1, 2, 3. That's all you get.
Yeah.
We got my dude, Field of Burn in the house, a channel member and a great friend. He says, well, howdy, y'all. What's up, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Lane got a new refrigerator. I don't know if that's true or not. Lane, you can confirm that.
It's definitely not a new refrigerator, but it's something that might feel huge like a refrigerator when I have to unbox.
Sounds good. Illusion Empty says, genuine question. I saw your pic of all the exclusive Japan figures. You might have seen Kaiju Daddies in my Facebook group because he did post a picture. I do have them all secured, but they haven't been shipped to me yet. I will be keeping those though. Guys, it's very rare that I buy a figure myself just to review. I feel like when you review something, the passion is more, and this is not to knock anyone that does do that, because there's a purpose behind it, just to check out figures that you would never otherwise see. But for my own collection, when I review stuff, it's for me. Now, when I get figures through Jeremy Casa, I don't get to keep them. You know, we all review them that do the reviews for Jeremy, and then the figures get sold. Sometimes some of us buy them. All of the figures I've reviewed for him thus far, I didn't keep, but they're all ones that I currently have on pre-order. You see what I'm saying? There may be a time where like a Marvel figure or something pops up that I'm not going to keep from my collection, but all of those figures, those are for me. Because you guys know I'm a Star Wars freak, so... Yeah, I think you probably saw Beskar. I think I said Kaiju Daddy because I was reading his comment. I think you probably saw Beskar Kid's photo in the Facebook group because he did post an awesome photo with all of them, making us very jealous. But I do have them coming. It's just we're waiting until this little shipping thing potentially changes soon. I say little. It's a big shipping thing, but you get what I'm saying. Uncarded Reviews in the house. He says the Midnight Collector rides again. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, guys, if I miss any of your comments, I do apologize. I'm trying to scroll through so we can get started. I know I saw a comment from Curtis just giving me well wishes. Sal, some, there's a time and place for it. I'm just happy right now. I'm happy to be here with you guys, but I agree. Sometimes you got to. But yeah, there was a comment from Curtis. I know I scrolled past earlier, just giving me well wishes. I do appreciate it, Curtis. I've kind of lost that comment. And anybody else, if I miss your comment, as you guys comment, I'll say what's up to you. Speaking of Kaiju Daddy, we got my dude Kaiju Daddy in the house. Newly appointed moderator. Guys, speaking of Kaiju Daddy, I should be joining Kaiju Daddy on May the 4th on his stream. I don't remember the time. I was talking to Lane. I think it was like 7 p.m. EST. I could be wrong. Kaiju can correct me on that. But yeah, I'll be joining Kaiju over on his channel on May the 4th in the evening. We got Imperfect Collector in the house. Imperfect Collector says, hello, guys. Just scrolling, stopping by. Well, thank you so much for scrolling, stopping by. If you get a chance to check out the replay or anything, I hope you enjoy it, and I very much appreciate you for being here. He said, all these mods. Yeah, sometimes they all come in forces, man. We got all our boys here. Yeah, it means a lot to me, Steve. Like I said, sometimes, even just like that little message that you send somebody when they're going through something, it means a lot, and I don't think you guys understand how much it means, but yeah, I do appreciate it. I really do. Justin says, really appreciate you guys. Of course, my friend, of course. Let's see. Yes, the collector, I think a lot of us are probably going to have to start buying some of those dollar store steaks, those like pounded thin ones, those questionable ones. Yeah. Curtis says my cats are Lord Vader, Boba Fett, and Princess Leia. Well, see, I would be kind of like stealing their names then with a little bit of a twist, thanks to Steve. But that's awesome. I've seen a lot of people name their cats and stuff Anakin too, which I think is awesome. I appreciate it, Tim. Thank you so much. And of course, dude, like I said, I think you've done an awesome thing, and I was surprised that someone didn't have that idea sooner, but I'm glad that you did, because you have a great community over there. So of course, every chance I can promote it, I will. Imperfect Collector says, just bought Rey training version, a Luke DX07 battle damage, and an Anakin Dark Side lava stand for 300, is that pounds? Sorry, excuse me, my ignorance, as a bundle. So on a Hot Toy eBay fix on Star Wars related, I see prices in the UK so cheap. Sometimes that happens, yeah. Sometimes you get really lucky on eBay, surprisingly, even though eBay is like the land of selling it for as much as you possibly can. So I've found some steals on there as well. Congrats on that. It's a great deal. And I actually really love that Rey training figure. I have that one in my collection as well. I actually have one of every single one of the Reys, believe it or not, and I really do love them. Yeah, I totally agree, Justin. It's a lot, and it sucks to have to do, but you can't put a price on it,
Hey, guys, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm trying to figure something out here. I don't want to be like an audio problem for the show. Is there like a droning, obnoxious sound in the background?
It's just kind of like a...
Yeah, okay.
But it's not like super loud.
All right, it's my dehumidifier.
I think it'll be okay.
Okay, all right, just let me know.
It'll be okay. Yeah, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, I can see Mike got collection in the background, so now Lane's the odd man out. Let's go.
Let's go, Lane. Yeah. Just put the statue on the bed. Just put the box at least.
Oh, no, that got put away. That's why it was away.
One day, Lane will be rivaling our collections. Don't worry.
Absolutely.
Well, and Lane does have a pretty sizable collection. You just don't see it.
Yeah. If you've done it, you see him.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, he's just not in front of it.
He's not in front of it. Yeah.
Tijuana Mike in the house, by the way, channel member and a good friend. Thank you so much for being here, Mike.
Let's put it this way.
Dave.
Probably at some point soon, sometimes I have my door open to my little hallway there where you see some of my statues. That one that's in that big box is going to be in that hall, in theory.
Dude, I can't wait to see that when you set that up.
Yeah,
it's going to be awesome. Like I said, guys, if I missed your comment, sorry, I kind of quickly scrolled through it, but I think it's time to get started. As you guys,
you got things to get through.
Yeah, as you guys come in and as you leave comments, I'll be doing my best to address them, of course. But
everyone is appreciated. That was amazing.
That means a lot, guys. Like I said, I will never forget that. No matter what happens, whatever the outcome is, like the dollar amount is insignificant in comparison just to the thought that you guys put into just trying to make me feel better about it. So I do appreciate it. I really do. It means a lot to me.
So for you, Connor, were you kind of surprised finally this guy just kind of popped up like he did?
Yes and no. I mean, we kind of got a little taste of, okay, he's probably coming out soon, because out of nowhere, before Hot Toys made their official announcement that they made updates, some people got some shots of the figure updated in the display where you could see that his torso was seamless and they had made changes to the knees and the dreads and everything. So I kind of thought, okay, it's probably about time. And that was, I think, 3 weeks ago or so, maybe a month ago. probably like closer to 3.5 weeks potentially. So once we saw that, I was like, okay, this is probably going to happen. So I'm not super surprised by it, Lane. What I am pleasantly surprised by, though, are all of the updates that they made, and I will go through them. And I do have the photos of the previous figure pulled up as well, because I kind of nerd out on the Predator stuff when it comes to accuracy and stuff like that. Like that's where I hone in on often. Brick Artemis, thank you so much, my friend. Chat, how do you spell the sound the Predator makes? That's a good question. I don't know. It's a bunch of clicks.
I wouldn't try, because it probably would start looking like a 4-letter curse word.
Maybe we can get Peter Cushing in here to do like a sound bite. But believe it or not, guys, Peter Cushing, the voice of Optimus Prime, is also the original and long-standing voice of the Predator. Made all the Predator sounds and stuff. He created the noise, and there's a awesome like interview that he did on stage at a con or something. I think it was. Where he's talking about how he created the sound of the Predator, like a horseshoe crab being
horseshoe crab, like, kind of so with the bubbling. Yeah, I love that little clip. If you can find it, if you're a Predator fan, it's worth checking out.
So cool, man. Speaking of Predator, the Badlands trailer looked very, very promising. And everybody's getting all like hung up on Deck, I think his name is, the new Predator. Everybody's getting all hung up on how he looks.
Yeah, he didn't.
He's a juvenile Predator.
I don't care.
He's a juvenile Predator.
Okay, he did look great though, in comparison. In
comparison to what, Lane? There's been so many. I mean, we're not going to get into this like heavily, but there's been so many Predators that have looked drastically different. All I'm going to say is, guys, the source material that this is based on has so much potential. Just don't let the look of one Predator sour it for you. Just wait and see. I think there's a huge potential here for this film, so I'm very excited. And with that being said, once again, Brick, thank you so much, my friend. A hotline hottie for a month. I appreciate you. And yeah, Kaiju Daddy's got you covered. There you go. That's the sound of the Predator in text form. Imperfect Collector says, so tempted with this great film, but when I think Predator, it's got to be a classic look. Yeah, I mean, the feral Predator certainly isn't for everybody, though I do think this film was very widely well received, and I really, really loved this film. I think it ranks as one of the better standalone Predator films, in my opinion. But yeah, this one is very exciting to me. So let's talk about the updates, guys. So number one, and you can kind of see a couple of the updates here. Number one, the dreads have been adjusted. I think the original dreads were actually, they had like a wire inside each one of them, so they were posable. In theory, I guess that was an interesting idea from Hot Toys, but because of that, that kind of made them a little bit on the thicker side, so you kind of affected the accuracy a little bit there. Hot Toys have kind of gone back to the drawing board and said, you know what, let's make it look better. Let's not try to do this nonsense with the wiring and stuff. And honestly, I really didn't see too many people complaining about that, to be honest with you, so it's cool that they updated that. But they look awesome. And when you see him in like the figure hideout, I think that's the only video so far on this figure. When he's moving the head, they flow so beautifully. So great decision by Hot Toys to thin them out, make them a bit looser. Looks great. They lay great on the body. And if you own any Hot Toys Predators, especially the AVP ones, they have thicker dread, so it's kind of a pain in the ass to get it to lay in a natural way on their shoulders because they're so stiff because they're thicker. And when I look at these, I'm like, dude, these are going to lay so much better on the body. So I'm very, very excited to check that out in person. Also, the next big change, which is the most obvious one, is they've gone ahead and done a seamless torso. But it is not the seamless torso that we saw in all of the original Predators where it's like hard plastic. This is actually internally posable. So it's like a rubberized skin, which we've seen with other figures that have posable torsos, like Venom, for example. I think this is a fantastic change. You have that added realism, getting rid of that seam in the middle, which honestly, that wasn't a deal breaker for me. But seeing this now, huge improvement. You can, like I said, you can even see it from behind there. I also love how all the attachments go on the body. There's a front shot of that torso. And I will say on the original iteration, Hot Toys didn't do a terrible job at kind of blending that like abdominal shelf with the seam. It wasn't like egregious to me, but this is just way better. It's just way better. It looks fantastic. Again, the way that the dreads drape over those shoulders, they look awesome. You know, Arnold said, "You're one ugly motherfucker." This is an ugly motherfucker right here. He's disgusting looking. I think he's one of the ugliest on-screen Predators just because he has that unique, like, nomadic look to him, and he's just so gross looking.
Yeah.
I think he looks kind of weird with the mask off. That's just, like, the design on screen. I much prefer him, especially because he has that unique, like, bone-like biomask.
Yeah, it leans into the bio rather than like
Exactly.
the mechanical.
So I feel like you have to have that biomask on. I just think it looks a lot cooler to me.
At the very least, like him holding it, or I just feel like it has to be part of the scene. It looks so great,
Yeah.
you know. But I do like okay, sorry, I use your words. So in the film, like if you look at the behind the scenes, it looked really great, and then they do their CGI stuff, and you can make an argument that it looked better as a mask than CGI.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, like I said, I think he looks awesome. I'm really happy with the updates. Another thing that they updated, which still are visible, but the knees on the original prototype were pretty damn noticeable, and there was a noticeable joint on them. They've kind of gone ahead and like blended the top of the kneecap over the knee, so it looks a bit less, again, egregious to use that word.
It looked more along the lines of the Red Hulk, kind of where the
and more,
joints. Really
shout out to Brick Artemis.
Yeah.
It looked more like a Mondo figure before they made the updates to it. Like it had those like visible joints, which is like intrinsic to those type of figures. Yeah, though I think
like that looks great, man.
Yeah. The paint apps, there's a lot of depth, like all the different shading and stuff throughout the sculpt and the mouth and everything.
You're not going to see the elbow joints, even if if you pose them like this, never notice them.
Yeah, it is really easy to pose around the elbow joints because all of the Predators have these single jointed arms because if you don't do single jointed, it's going to be super ugly. You're going to have a really ugly double joint and it's going to kind of throw off that realism. So like they really don't at this time have that many options. Illusion Entity says he is ugly ass seam on the sculpt.
I guess he means the.
Are you talking about like the removable mouth? Is that what you're referring to? I don't know. I guess that's what you're probably talking about here.
I know what he means. It just feels like this is a figure that can kind of get away with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right.
To each their own, though.
But that is present on every single Predator figure, unfortunately, because it's like, what would you rather have? Removable biomask or fixed biomask, or no biomask at all? And I think that's a good like happy medium in between. Like, and again, like when you're posing it from the front, you won't really notice it too much. Trust me.
And it's already kind of pricey, so like 3 swappable head sculpts would, so
that's true.
Having the optional mandible look, so
yeah, that is very true. And Perfect says I have the Elder from Predator 2, absolutely brilliant figure and classic on pre. But again, this would look great with them. Yeah, I actually have. So I also have the Elder Predator from Predator 2. I have most of the Hot Toys Predators, like the newer generation ones, not like the 1.0s. And I have the Elder, and I have like customizations done to it, like the eyes repainted. I got done by GKH 16 Customs. Formerly, he was Fugitive Predator Customs before. Got the eyes repainted, custom leather patchwork for the military patch on his forearm. Custom full leather replacements on everything. I love that figure. It's fantastic. Those Predator 2 figures, the 2.0 bodies, they look great. I have a City Hunter Predator with a custom biomask, custom King Willie head that he's holding in his hand. I love those figures, and I would definitely welcome like a 3.0 of those with the posable torso like this one has. That would be sick, but there's so many of them that they probably won't ever touch anytime soon, so I'm not putting my hope into that, but I don't know if Chris is currently available while he's driving, but we got Big Dog Pound in the house. Of course, Chris won't be able to pull a belt out, but Big Dog Pound, my friend,
no belt.
Chris, we'll have to give him a big woo while you're driving. Your belt out. He's got a belt in his hand. You just can't see it. It's just a little tiny one that he keeps in his car for emergencies. So, but what's up, Big Dog Pound?
I'll remember next time.
Yeah, I'll remember next time.
I'll change like the profile pic to me holding the belt.
There you go. But yes, Big Dog Pound, thank you so much for being here, my friend. Sal says, been waiting so damn long for this, excited to get that shipping notification. Yeah, like for me, this one couldn't come sooner. I just think he looks awesome. If anything, the one thing I think that's missing from this, I wish that there was a like slightly closed version of the shield. I think all you have is like the fully collapsed inside the gauntlet look. I would have preferred if you could have like the collapsed but kind of sticking out portion of it, because obviously when he puts the shield up against that dude's head and cuts his head off and it like chops the tree in half, that was so sick. So it's a minor gripe because many people wouldn't pose it with that, but yeah, some really, really nice updates on this, guys. I'm very pleasantly surprised. Like I said, knees look a lot better. The dreads look a lot better. It looks like no pleather on this one at all, which is awesome because a lot of the previous Predator figures all had pleather and they all had flaking issues. So this seems to be, I hate to call it now, but just based on when we're talking about purely on features and accuracy, I think this will probably be one of the best Predator figures yet, just because it's modern. The dreads seem a lot better. Like, of course, you got to see it in person, but generally speaking, guys, I think this is probably going to be one of the best Predators to date. I just think it's got everything you want. I would not be using this grabber on this waist. No chance, because of the complexity of the paint and everything. If that gets peeled off, no shot. I'm a weenie when it comes to the waist grabbers. I do not use them very often. And yes, I saw somebody mention Naru. I've been trying to convince I won't say who, but I've been trying to convince a manufacturer to make one. It isn't Hot Toys. And they seem somewhat interested, so hopefully that ends up happening. We'll see.
You will see one from a different manufacturer soon.
In smaller scale.
Yes.
I know who it is.
Yes.
Gio, thank you so much. A channel member, Hotline Hottie, for 11 months. Gio says, Connor, is this your last Predator? Gio, you already know the answer to that. No, dude. After I saw that Badlands trailer, especially the Elder Predator, which I'm assuming is an Elder Predator with the incredibly looking detailed armor that remind me of like something out of Skyrim with like the red and black, and that they basically have like laser swords. No, if they do, I will promise you I'll buy anything from Badlands, even if the movie isn't up to par, which I'm sure it will be. I'm very confident in this movie because of who's behind it, but even if it isn't, I'd probably still get the figures, just because I love the design, especially of that Elder Predator that we saw in the trailer. He looks so badass. But yeah, definitely not my last, and certainly not my last, actually, because the Samurai Predator, the red version, that comes out after this, and I have that on pre-order. So yeah, I'm going to be getting them. I'm going to be getting them until the end of time. We got Sean, Nightmare's Cave, formerly the Hot Toys Nightmare. Sean says, hello there. Hello, Sean. Thank you so much for being here, my friend.
What's up,
I hope
dude?
you're doing well. Pedro says, best Predator ever, hashtag hotline confirmed. Is that Haley Steinfeld in your profile picture? If not, it looks like her.
Looks like her. He's always got the best profile.
I know. If not, it looks like her. But this is not the best on-screen Predator ever, but figure-wise, it's got to be, right? With all the features it has, like, it's got to be. Yeah, he looks awesome, though. I do want to show you, and then, you know, you guys, I know Mike's been kind of sharing his thoughts, but Lane, if you want to share your thoughts, I want to pull up the photos of the first iteration of this figure so you can really see a lot of the changes they've made to the figure. I think in the paint apps alone, you can kind of see some improvements there.
This is what you like to see from Hot Toys, where they do, whether you're interested in the figure or not, where they take the time and effort to get stuff. But the big thing is that body, man. Like I did not
look at
like
that seam. Look how thick the dreads were in the original prototype.
Yeah,
like
they're not all individual dreads, right? They're like stuck together.
Yeah, so they made it so you went.
Kind of does look like that in some spots.
Yeah. You literally look at the old one and you're like, I don't think I'd be able to move the head at all. It's going to be like She-Hulk or something like that, where you would try and move the head.
Yeah, these new ones look lighter, thinner.
Yeah. You'll have like some give, or you can kind of move it a little bit, because you want to put this guy in some decently actiony posed look. But that body, like, I thought it like was a NECA figure.
Yeah.
For the Predators almost, and even then, sometimes for the chests and stuff aren't quite as pronounced. It felt like the original was, hey, we're putting this up for pre-order, but it feels like this is one that was in 80% of the development, kind of, and then we still are going to bring it over the next year, the last 20% of the development that we actually want it to look like.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about this one, Lane, is Mike, you're very familiar with this too. Prey merchandising took like 2 years to finally
so they waited a long time.
It was crazy.
Where the movie was hot and stuff. But the good thing for Predators, though, is that their stuff they're one of those legacy franchises, even like Alien or something. Now, you might be doing reverse numbers. Obviously, if you have a big movie or successful thing right around the time, even for legacy stuff, that can help. Oh my gosh, Alien Romulus was really cool. So there's, interest in like, older maybe alien figures or alien statues or whatever. There'll be some high stuff because there's been some good media, or that's why Star Wars or MCU having good stuff. There's a good movie, and some merchandise like that might make people kind of interested in, you know, something else or more recent thing where you thought the figure was kind of cool, but it has your interest in it.
They don't have to strike while the iron's hot because it's always,
This I feel like because it's a little bit more recent, they did maybe a little bit, but you can look, they could go back and do like the original Predator that they've shown, the Jungle Hunter a little bit, and people would buy that.
So now, and I want to read the super chat real quick, and then I'll kind of share a thought with what you just said, Lane. Gio, thank you so much, my friend, with the $5 super chat. You guys are, again, way too kind, and I really do appreciate it. Gio says, future Predator figures fun. Well, I'm certainly going to need it, Gio, because like I said, I don't see myself turning down any Predator unless they look absolutely awful. JB says, Feral Predator, praying for your pet's recovery. Thank you so much, JB. I appreciate you for being here and for the kind words.
Feral Ferreter.
Feral Ferreter. I completely missed that.
Yeah, that's cool.
That I just add it to the list of nicknames, dude. But thank you so much, JB. I appreciate that, my friend. But yeah, Lane, speaking of the classic Predator, Jungle Hunter Predator, rather, after seeing all the updates to this one, I really am hopeful that they'll change a lot of stuff, because that 2.0 Jungle Hunter, or 3.0, actually, it'll be the 3.0, technically, because they did the classic Predator, which is basically the same thing, just slightly modified. That was very inaccurate. Every instance that they've shown it so far, it's very inaccurate. It's got a lot of, you know,
it feels like the hodgepodge Predator.
It's basically the classic Jungle Hunter from the Predator film, the Predators film, with a special base added to it. So there's a lot of things inaccurate with like the bicep lines and certain cues of the armor, different armor pieces. So, and the green hue, there's just a lot of weird things going on. So I hope they update it, because it's perfect.
This guy, I have to say, I think, because like I didn't really care for the statue version of this guy very much, but I do have to say overall, I do kind of, I like with these body changes. I feel like.
What am I doing? Sorry, I'm trying to make it. There we go. It doesn't even work. I was gonna try to make it bigger. Good. This is, by the way, this is the figure hideouts video. Just kind of have to have it playing in the background. But go ahead, Lane.
But I really felt like the Feral Predator really, like this guy is translated, I think, better into a figure format than like, because the statue is kind of and maybe just because there's like 7 and they're all huge and they all look really cool. So this has, for Hot Toys and for the figure stuff, to me, this is like that Scorch Xeno.
Yeah, see how that hair moves, Lane?
I agree, Lane.
I love it.
This is a what helps this guy is that he stands out a little bit because there haven't been many Predators the last few years. So I think this looks like a very unique thing in this particular, you know, format and size. So that helps him be a little bit more interesting. And I mean, Hot Toys made tons of very interesting, I mean, Star Wars figures or Marvel, but this is the first Predator we've had, you know, in a while actually released. So it helps.
Yeah, the most recent released Predator was the Wolf Predator, and I think that was 2018. That was
a while ago. Yeah,
a long time ago.
Yeah.
But they did I think they did a really nice job with them. It's not one that I'm interested in because I'm not a huge fan of Prey. I like the movie okay, but this Predator just didn't work for me. I'm much more like the AVP Predators. Like those are probably my favorites.
Are you picking that one up?
This base is so cool, man.
Yeah. This base is great, and there's some magnetic applications of the accessories on them, aren't they?
And this one
maybe for the axe.
And this one has enough flatness to it where it looks like you can kind of pose him a little bit. Unlike you have not a ton of space, but at least a little bit better space management where you can put him on. They did an overall good. I like the box.
That's cool. That's cool.
The box is super cool. The video is cool. Figure Hideout, you know, he humbled myself every time I see his videos. Sean, thanks for the $2 super chat. Sean says, "Show me your truffle shovel." Sean, I can't do the truffle shuffle, dude. I can't do it. I can't. But
he'd like
Sean,
to. He just doesn't have.
I would love to, Sean. I don't have
the
it
body
in me,
for
dude.
it.
I don't have the body for it. Well, maybe I could probably pull it off, but I just don't have it in me, dude. But thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate it. So one thing I want to point out, as I said earlier, you could see it here in this video. I love the way you could see the flowiness of the dreads. That just tells me they're going to lay so nicely on the body. Love the gadgets. I love that there's magnets integrated in the body for that little
That's what I was talking
spear
about.
gun that he has. Yeah, I love that. I'm still not a fan of how Hot Toys does the USB cable and the mask and it plugs in somewhere on the back. I don't like that. I love that it's USB powered though, and I think it was clever how they integrated the USB power into like the little box on his back. I think that was very clever. I just love the gadgets on this one. It's so different. It's a departure from your traditional Predator. That's that little whip. I don't even know what to call that thing. He throws it on the shackle around the bear trap around his ankle to cut it, and it like heats up. I don't even know what that thing's called, but he's just got some really cool gadgets. And it's very unique to this particular Predator because obviously this is long before a lot of the other Predators that we see on screen. Yeah, the arrows and the base and it's like a couple people mentioned Naru. It's like, how do you do this base and not give us Naru? They would have been so cool next to each other, man.
Dude, this video is a sexy video, dude.
This Figure
video
Hideout's unbeatable, dude.
Yeah,
He's unbeatable, man. I mean, he is working directly with Hot Toys now, so it doesn't surprise me. But yeah, I do want to move on from the Feral Predator, though. But yeah, really, really exciting stuff. Chris, I don't know if you wanted to make any comments on the Feral Predator. I know you're not real into the Predator stuff unless like they do that new Jungle Hunter, but
yeah, I got like no skin in the game, so.
But I'll put them on the screen one more time.
That's about it.
Yep, that's fair. But really, really exciting release, guys. Some awesome improvements from Hot Toys, and
I wonder how long it's going to take for him to come, though.
That's a good question. I heard that he's fully released in Hong Kong, so I think this one.
Well, I just mean though because of delays possible.
Well, that's what I guess what I'm trying to say is like when Sideshow gets there, that's probably going to be it. You know, there's just going to be one big batch, I think, because apparently he's fully released already in Hong Kong. So that means they probably didn't sell as many of these as they normally would, like a big Star Wars character or something. Mm-hmm. Valkyrie says my daughter's BFF looks just like Naru. That's pretty cool, man. I'm jealous. Cool. I've never actually seen the actress outside of that role.
Me neither.
I think she's pretty.
Yeah, she is.
But I've never actually seen her outside of that role. A very interesting one, guys, in a good way. How crazy is it? Let me take this off the screen. How crazy is it that Hot Toys is actually committing so hard to these legacy, like, Legends characters like Nihilus and Revan and potentially another Revan that you'll see in these photos and Malgus. It's really, really cool to see. I'm not going to lie. And I'm glad that Hot Toys didn't pull like a one-trick pony deal because I was really, really hoping that they would continue to do these. And now this, to me, like, kind of opens the door for, like, potentially Darth Malik and Darth Sion and maybe Bastila. Bastila Shan would be a potential, I think. Yeah, I just think in Lane, and they're drawn from video games. So, like, if, like, for example, like the Galaxy of Heroes video game, which they've clearly drawn some of these figures from.
Yeah,
that's where they got the Revan from. You know, the Jedi Revan that we saw a tease of. That's where that's originally from. That's where
I was going to say, because those two guys never actually ran into each other in the actual games.
But yeah, this is really cool, Lane. This is really cool. We have freaking Darth Nihilus to go with our Darth Revan and our Star Killer.
This figure is coming out. Like, this was, well, you might remember this time last year during the Dark Side event. I was like all over, like, when we saw Revan, I said, this is the guy. Like, this feels like this guy is absolutely going to come. Like, this is the easy one.
I know
to do because he doesn't have an actual actor likeness or head sculpt they got to do. He's a mass figure. He's a Sith guy. He's he's not going to be a figure that needs to have a ton of stuff with him. You give him a lightsaber, some kind of maybe effect stuff, and then that can be it. Like, there's not else anything he really needs. He truly is a Star Wars thing that we always talk about, even like original trilogy. He is completely about the look and everything more than even the character. Because if you ask me, what's cool about Darth Nihilus? I'm like, he eats planets, but he is about as interesting as a plank of wood as an actual character. Because he's not really a character. He's an omnipresent
threat. Eater. He's literally a wound in the Force, and he has to consume souls to stay alive.
Or keep from he's in pain, like kind of like Darth Vader.
And if you guys haven't played Knights of the Old Republic to hear his voice, you need to watch videos of his voice. He's creepy as shit, and he's badass at the same time. But it's like I can't even like mimic his voice. It's so creepy.
Yeah, because he doesn't like really speak. Actually, I mean, he's literally like, he's so powerful. I mean, we talk about powerful guys like Emperor Palpatine or something like that. Like this guy is literally like he might be in physical power, like more powerful in theory than like say the Emperor. Like if you compare it or something like that, but like this guy is dominated by his power. Rather than his power uses him rather than him using
like
power.
he
became so
it's a crutch. Yeah, it's a crutch.
Yeah, but he's such a I would Dude. Yeah, I mean like this
and also Lane, I want to add real quick. I think this figure is $265.
Yeah, so he's not a bad
very good price point for such a huge character. I know it's not like even if you haven't played the games or anything that he's in, this is such a recognizable character. It really is. Like he even more than Darth Malgus for sure. Like much more than Darth Malgus.
Yeah, this guy is about the design and the look. Like he is one of the best design. Now, whatever, like I said, he is not really that interested in actual character, but he is like almost like the quintessential where other than maybe like in more general sense like the Emperor or Darth Vader, he's like an amalgamate. He's like the perfect design for a Sith or like a bad guy, like basically an evil space wizard bad guy. Like this guy is perfect. Like he is such an amazing design that you can see him not know anything about him. It doesn't. I think Malgus is actually kind of like that too. They're just a perfect design, but because this guy doesn't even really have a head sculpt so much to him, there's an air of mystery to him. Like, what is this guy? What's up? What's behind the mask? Kind of like Jason Voorhees or something like that. What's
guys? Him? Yeah. I don't really know that. I never played the games. Is this a partial head sculpt? Like, is that his actual mouth under there and eyes, or is that part of a mask?
So I actually have something to comment on with that. So
okay.
From what I understand, and I think it was CT Gravity in the Discord. So shout out to CT. CT actually wrote it out for me just to give me some, like, he did a little bit of research, and he says that the Hot Toys Darth Nihilus is based off of the Champions of the Force, like miniature. It's like a miniatures game. I think it's like one of those things where you buy.
You have a figure and you put it on a
Right. So I actually have a photo of it right here. So look at this figure. Look at because a lot of people were commenting on the shape of like the ears, so to speak.
They look kind of like them smaller.
If you look at this miniature, you could see there is some similarities there, like going between this, like with the little ears, the tattered look to the robes.
Yeah, his robes in the game were like super ridiculously long. In the holographic style and stuff.
Like when he talks, does that mouth move or is that part of his mask?
No.
So the original. So again, I have something on that as well. It says the original artwork for Knights of the Old Republic 2 shows him wearing a long flowing robe, and he did not have a face behind the mask. It's just a shadow. But Chris Avalone stated that there's not supposed to be a visible nose, but the new artwork that was created for the Master Edition of the game that was released recently, he does have the facial features under the mask. So it seems like it's been like a change. Like an accepted change over time. Originally, he did not have those facial features.
He was almost more like you can probably think of him kind of being like the original version. It's not an exact thing, but think of him, guys. If you want to think of him, think of him being kind of almost like he's like a ring wraith from Lord of the Rings in certain respects.
Yeah, I got you.
Where he has a kind of a body, but it's kind of more like you don't see it. He's like literally almost a living force at this point. He's not really like his body's been consumed. He still has arms, hands, and everything, all that.
Right.
But it's literally his mask after you kill him is all that's left. Like
he's like an animated.
Yeah, like when you kill him, you're just going to see like a purple mist in the air
or a green mist.
Yeah.
We've seen that.
Much cooler looking.
Yeah. What I do want to say about this, being that I am an owner of the Revan, that hood is terrible. And the way that I was able to kind of fix it, and this is not my original idea. I don't remember the collector's name who posted about it. I just grabbed some magnets and pinched the hood in the back, and I was able to manipulate it to make it look a lot better. I'm worried about this hood. Yeah, I hope it is too. I'm worried about this hood though, especially because it has that shape. I'm guessing this is wiring. I hope it is, because if it's wiring,
there's a ton of wiring in this figure.
Yeah, maybe you could bump that hump up on his head a little bit to kind of make it look more like his KOTOR look. I don't know if maybe they just manipulated the hood. There's obviously some cut and sew there. You could see it sewn in. But I'm hoping you can kind of bump this up a little bit. Even if you can't, it's freaking Nihilus, and it does look awesome.
It's just freaky looking. It's just scary looking face.
Dude, mask, it's creepy as shit. Look at those eyes.
All I'm asking is those arms and stuff, please be nylon. Do not be any kind of pleather.
That's for sure nylon. That's absolutely nylon. 100%.
I was looking.
Like if it's good enough for Lord Starkiller, it's good enough for Darth Nihilus.
Yeah, that's nylon 100%.
Yeah, I don't see any details on it yet, but I think it is. Just because they're going in that direction, right?
Everything recently with like a Vader style suit has been nylon. By the way, what's up, Beskar kid? Beskar says Cal Kestis, Iden Versio. Dude, Iden would be just a freaking dream. That'd be, and Cal too. We've been waiting how long for Cal? How many years?
Yeah.
Darth Malak, I think, is a for sure bet. I think that's going to happen, no doubt.
We got a Scout Trooper Commander so far.
Don't remind us, Lane. Don't remind us. Sal said he's got cute little ears or something. Yeah, like little Winnie the Pooh.
They couldn't even give us. I forget what the extra boss was. That like Scout Trooper hidden boss guy, who was.
Oh yeah.
By the way,
Matt,
make
it that guy.
Matt, did this sell out already? Because if so, I'm pissed. I didn't see that one up because I do collect ornaments here and there, and I did not know that was a thing. So if it's sold out, that sucks. But send a link in the chat if it's still up. I want to buy it. Matt also says, now there is a piece of artwork with his arm pointed out that represents the Hot Toys look more than the video game. Maybe Disney was the one who approved it in this manner. Maybe this is the way they're going, and maybe that means this Nihilus is going to show up somewhere. Maybe.
I think Hot Toys gets a lot of the direction from Disney because if you look at, we got a, I think it was a Black Series figure recently. The
Darth Nihilus one.
Well, no, that, but even the Sith Apprentice. We got an Anakin with a red lightsaber. Did you guys see that? That was recently announced by Hasbro. So it's
that makes sense.
Yeah, like Disney is, the guiding force behind all this. It's not just Howard saying like, I'd like to do this. You know what I mean? Because it's a huge coincidence that Hasbro did that at the same time as Hot Toys. You know what I mean? It's not a coincidence.
Yeah. I mean, look at like the Arena Fett when that came out of nowhere. Hasbro's doing a Black Series version of it. Like they definitely, it's like a group thing. And Hasbro has been banging out these Legends figures for a couple years now. Like I have the Jedi Revan HK-47 2-pack. I have the Darth Revan. I have a bunch of these. I have Darth Malgus in the Black Series. I have Bastila in the Black Series. So, and Malak, I think, releases very soon. So they've been doing this stuff, so it's cool to see Hot Toys diving in. By the way, shout out to 16fix. What's up, my friend? 16fix says, I could listen to Lane talk about this stuff all day. Hey, dudes. Lane is very passionate about like the legend stuff and Knights of the Old Republic, and he's read a lot of those books and comics and stuff that I have
beat Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 so many effing times. It's not even funny. Like
that's one of those games, Lane. I couldn't believe I had the attention span as a kid to play it, but I loved it so much on the original Xbox, dude. That was my.
I'm trying to get through it now as a 45-year-old. It is not easy, man.
Well, it's a lot of clicking.
The gameplay is also different. Like,
a lot of dialogue, a lot of clicking. Yeah,
I can't tell you. And
that reboot.
Playing back on the original Xbox, that's what I had it on. I remember playing that game. It came out in like early mid-August. I played through that game, the first one, beat it. Literally 5 minutes later, started an all new playthrough. Jeez. I think for about 3 weeks, I just played that game over and over and over again to the point I was going back to college. I went back to college, and I literally
to learn how to get better at it.
Video game classes.
I literally went because I had to go. I was in Vermont, and there was a guy who owned his own individual video game store. I literally took that in and traded it into him, sold it to him so I could pick something else up because I literally had to get rid of it so I would stop playing it so I could actually do my schoolwork. Like I beat that game like 4 times.
You needed like
and it took a while.
That's
Yeah, so I
dedication,
had to
dude.
get
It
rid of
takes
it,
forever,
yeah.
and then like you do another playthrough, and you want to change your decisions and kind of go the different
That's
side.
the thing. Yeah.
That's what made it fun to me. By the way, what's up, Eric? Sorry I missed your comment earlier. A hotline hottie and a great friend. Eric says, "Hey everyone."
What's up, man?
Also, I Am Vengeance. What's up, my friend? I Am Vengeance says, "I will get all the video game Legends figures. I will as well. I will as well."
And the
can't
thing
say no
is,
to
too,
these.
this guy, where he's amazing. He's also part of one of the games that the modern like gray Jedi garbage and stuff, like the sequel trilogy tried to do. This game did all that stuff, and the question of the Jedi and all that stuff already did it back in like 2003, 2004. Now the game was released super broken and other stuff, and if you try to like, it's on sale, the PC version. You can download a fan-made project that took years that actually fixes a lot of stuff and added a lot of stuff, so the game actually functions like it was supposed to fully, and added content that was supposed to be in it.
Yeah.
But like all that morally gray, the Jedi like too stoic, whatever, their philosophy.
They touched
all
on
of that was
Rebels.
question was all of that was in this game, but told a million times more interesting and better.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not surprised.
I mean, it was done like that. But anyway, I babble on it. But this Nihilus, I can say this is figure is coming up. Like,
it's so
I haven't pre-ordered that, but and I know we got another one we're going to talk about that's like super cool too.
Lane, I wanted to say it's sad, but I'm not that shocked that we got this. I didn't wake up. I was like, "Oh, Nihilus!" I'm like, "There he is."
Oh yeah,
baby.
I thought after seeing
Revenant.
Remember this time last year, I said Nihilus has got to be coming.
Yeah, I mean, we got it. Like, we felt it with Star Killer and Revan, and then Malgus. If they get Malgus is way more niche than Nihilus. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because that's not even from Knights of the Old Republic. It's from Star Wars: The Old Republic Online, a game that a lot of people have never heard of. So once we got that Malgus, especially, I'm like, all right, they're going to go all out with this stuff, which I love it. I love it.
And when that game launched, which I mean is now like 13, 14 years ago, I still play it. But like Malgus was a hot thing when it first, like 10 years ago. But even then, like the character got killed at like the end of the beginning.
He didn't last very long. And like one of my other favorite characters, Darth Mar, he got killed very quickly, and I loved him. He was like one of the coolest characters.
He was in it for at least 4 or 5 years in the main story. Now Malgus has been back for years. He's been back already now for 3 or 4 years. But I mean, Nihilus is just one. I think is, and especially I think in this figure format, like this oversized figure format, I think he would be an amazing statue too. Like whatever,
for sure.
But he has just a design that works perfect.
Let me ask you, Lane, both of you guys, as big video game players, and I'm a big gamer myself. I just miss these games. I would like to see Heir to the Empire stuff, Thrawn trilogy stuff, before this stuff, just because I don't have any connection to it. How would you guys rank that? Would you like to see your Jorah Sabayoth, Mara Jade, like all that stuff?
Oh yeah, no,
Mara Jade especially, and they just did a lightsaber of hers. They just did a lightsaber set, and also like they just announced a Black Series Dash Rendar, so it's like
vintage collection 3-pack with Sabayoth and I
George
think
Cabot and
So like it's
and
Luke, So there's initiative there.
Yeah.
But for me, I really want to see those characters, and maybe they're not bigger because the video game world is huge, right? So a lot of people have a connection to these games.
Well, legacy, that's a big thing for Star Wars. I think legacy for Star Wars can encompass so much because it has. I mean, we're approaching 50. I mean, not many things are around for 50 years. I mean, you'd think James Bond, Godzilla. Maybe like Ultraman, and all those are from Japan or originally from Britain and stuff. But Star Wars is one of those few American properties that continue maybe from here that has continued on so long. Where it can make it annoying sometimes because you might, like you say, you want that heir to the. I would love as much as I like Nihilus, I would take a Mara Jade
Yeah.
over
Okay.
him.
So
Like
that's what I think.
I would rather have Nihilus, but Mara Jade would also be coming home for me for sure. It's it's more so the attachment I have to the Knights of the Old Republic games.
Yeah, you put a lot of hours into playing on. Yeah, totally.
But yeah, like Shadows of the Empire stuff, like I said, Dash is really cool. Like I feel like there's a potential for a lot of this stuff. Hot Toys has like the fit-ins right now for Star Wars in between content, and I think that's why they're doing a lot of this
scale
stuff.
Outrider, baby. Calling it now. We need that. We need
I think
that.
Legends. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say real quick, I want to say what's up to Jose. Tom. Jose said, sorry I'm late. It's my fault. He said I didn't tell him, and I assumed he canceled. Well, Jose, thanks for being here. Tom, thanks for being here. Ekwan says, I can always count on Lane to let me know about all the latest Hot Toys drops.
Ekwan's picture, it looks just like my son.
1-6, does it? That's crazy.
Yeah.
1-6 lovers in the house. 1-6 lovers, I feel like you always know that I'm going to talk about you because I have your Instagram pulled up because of all the photos you took of all this stuff. Not only Nihilus, but Palpatine. You took some really awesome photos. I wish you would send it to me. Of course, I didn't ask yet again. I wish you would send it to me because I hate having to view it through Instagram. But what's up, my dude? I hope you're doing well. Guys, as always, if you haven't already, follow 1-6 lovers on Instagram. I think it's well worth your follow because he does awesome day one. I think he's like always one of the first people, him and Figure High are one of the first people to unbox stuff. When it goes up in Secret Base, he's always taking videos of everything, high-res photos, so... Check him out on Instagram, guys. I highly recommend it. Dude, Jolie would be sick. That would be sick for sure. Mission would be sick. Zalbar would be sick. Karth. There's a lot of really cool stuff they could do. I don't know if they'll go that far with all the light side characters. But
Mandalore the Preserver would be so cool.
Mandalore the Great would be cool as well. There's a lot of really cool stuff they could do. What was I going to say? Sorry, I lost you. Oh, thank you so much, by the way, Moose, for the 16 months as a hotline hottie. He says, note to self, pre-order 2 Malgus, Han, Chewie, what else? I only got 1 of Han and 1 of Chewie. I did get 2 Malgus. I will tell you, I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, for Palpatine, I will be getting 2. 2 for sure, because I want 1 Emperor Palpatine and I want 1 Darth Sidious. So, yeah. I know. I always forget to ask you. I literally always forget to ask you. Dude, I was cracking up at that. It's so funny. It looks just like Mike. Ekwan says it's a photo of my son right after we got out of watching a bad movie. Ryan says the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities. Some consider to be unnatural. Dude, so
this guy is unnatural times 20.
Right, we just got done seeing Revenge of the Sith in theaters this past weekend. Chris and I.
I know, yeah. I was going to say
such a fun
that's what
experience.
had me kind of hyped when I saw this popping up, and later figure we'll look at like that had me kind of hyped.
Yeah,
but like, and Hot Toys really likes going in on the dark side, guys. Man, like if the dark side event last year wasn't enough, but Nihilus coming. This is a great figure. I can see where it could maybe, depending on what we see, if anything, later this week for Revenge of the Sith, could maybe get lost in the shuffle a little bit. So that might be why they put it out and give it a little bit of time, for people to pre-order and stuff. Because if there's some big revenge, like as much as I like this, and this is probably going to be my favorite figure, or probably announcements, whatever they might do, if they do any. I mean, there's still a big if what else they could do for the May the 4th. I'm sure we'll see other, as time goes on, some more Revenge of the Sith stuff. But like this guy is going to be one of my top 3 figures anticipated in the 2026 now, just because.
You have that connection. It makes a lot of sense, man. It makes sense. It's very exciting for me.
Do you like the base he comes with?
Honestly, Lane, I didn't look that much at the base. Let's see. Well, it's just that.
Because I mean, it's the old block, not even the circular base.
Weird that they didn't go with that like cog shaped base. I don't know. It's a base. I don't really use the bases too much, but it is weird that they went back to that flat one. Yeah, Beskar for the Palpatine / Sidious. I need both for sure. They got me with that one because I want both looks. Jose said he told me the likeness was off. You can't want, dude. He probably said the likeness for Nihilus was off, dude. It wouldn't surprise me. Adam says in Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine says, once more the Sith shall rule. We need to see that come on Disney. Dude, and I totally agree. I think Disney is pushing a lot of this stuff with these companies like Hot Toys and Hasbro, which is good to see. It's good to see all these Legends characters getting the love. It really is. Clone Trooper says the unpainted blackface is throwing off the look for me. Looks too toy-like to me. I could definitely see that argument. For me, it doesn't bother me too much because I feel like when you focus in on that mask, the black part of the face actually kind of like sinks in. You know what I mean? And it kind of like disappears in a way. At least for me, it's everyone's different. But
well, I will say this
kind of
look because like in Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMO, when they introduced like cosmetic look and stuff, and this is years ago. So it was part of the first wave. They did Mask of Nihilus. And the Mask of Nihilus, kind of with that black chin and stuff like that. Not so much the eyes. The eye that's kind of blanked out. And
so
stuff,
creepy.
But a little bit more like the human face with the chin. The Mask of Nihilus, even that has that kind of a look and stuff to it as well. I was looking it back up because I've had the thing, but I don't because it doesn't color match or anything, like dye match or anything. For whatever reason, they did that. But I was looking back and it's similar. It's a little actually more square just because of the graphics. Yeah. But like with the way that chin is and stuff with darkened out like it is on the figure, it's almost exactly the same.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm hoping that you can kind of manipulate the hood a little bit once you actually get it in hand. Again, big shout out to 1/6 lovers. We kind of didn't talk about it too much. Lane briefly mentioned it. There's a shit ton of wiring, it looks like, throughout this cloak. I love how like realistic and weathered the tattered robe looks. 1/6 lovers pointed this out to me, and I didn't notice it until he actually brought it up. The boots look like they're very stiff because they're all one piece. There's no split cut or anything, so probably will be some pretty limited posability with those boots. But man, that wiring looks very substantial. It looks like it allows the cape to look very natural and flowy, which is awesome. That's what we want to go for, and I think this looks awesome. So again, big shout out to 1/6 lovers for taking these photos. You don't understand how much this means to us because we get to see this stuff very early on and get excited for it. And I think this is the most excited I've seen Lane for a 6 scale figure.
Oh yeah,
while,
dude,
awesome
I've been waiting years for this guy. I've been waiting years for this guy. He is one of my, like I said, he's not my favorite character because he's not that much of a character, but he is, I think, one of the most neatest looking Star Wars designs that has ever been done. That's why people
he has such a cool story too, cool.
Yeah, where he ties into the overarching themes and everything. Because Coder 2, while the game kind of had some issues, the actual baseline story of it is probably one of the, especially for the time, because we've seen kind of the ideas done over and over here in the last 20 years. But at the time, that wasn't something we really had seen, or like kind of the examination of the light and the dark and what it means to be a Jedi. Now, this was something as well.
So this is what we had it on the screen for a while, but we were like having fun talking, so we didn't mention it. This is what was teased, guys. So when you see that over the shoulder look, it's the Jedi Revan, which he shows up in Galaxy of Heroes. You do see him in that game. Also, like I mentioned earlier, there is a Black Series and a 3.75 Vintage Collection version of this figure that's already been released. So
there's been an armor.
This doesn't surprise me.
In Star Wars: The Old Republic, a super detailed one for a couple years now. This guy, it's based off the original, one of the last Jedi armors you could get in the first Knights of the Old Republic, which were called the Star robes. They basically were white Darth Revan robes. That's what they basically were, except the hood was down.
Yeah. So Lane, let's hope the hood is better on this one.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if they'll learn their lesson, but the hood on the original Revan is very rough.
This is Hot Toys probably going to redo almost all the same stuff all over again.
Yeah, probably. But it's still, it's cool. It's exciting. It's going to be awesome to have them next to each other. This is what was teased in those photos, guys. I'm sure a lot of you were like, what is that? That's what this is. So very interesting.
And just so you guys know, Revan did not, your player character Revan or something, or, did not encounter Darth Nihilus in Cover 2. Like, they do not meet ever, as far as we know anyway.
And guys, if you haven't already, listen to the chat. Like Moose says, need more likes. Or Big Dog Pound puts it even better. He says, all the Siths in the house, force choke that like button. Do it. Or you could be Anakin. Anakin had his moments, especially in the Clone Wars. I think it was Poggle the Lesser he force choked at one point. So yeah, you could be Anakin as well and just force choke that like button. Let's see. I Am Vengeance says, oh my, Jedi Revan Dopo will be better than the previous release, hopefully. Yeah, they need to fix that hood. Like I said, I've got magnets on mine currently, so I do hope that they fix that, because that hood is as bad as everybody said it was. I was very surprised by that. Lane has Revan PTSD. He wakes up in cold sweats. Yeah, He sees Revan haunting him in his dreams. Dark Diggler says, does the Jedi Revan take off the helmet? No. There's not going to be any unmasked skull. I know, like, everybody's fan casted Keanu Reeves many times. There is a model in Star Wars The Old Republic where he has his helmet off, and that's what he looks like. That's why a lot of people fan cast Keanu Reeves, because he has that same, like, patchy type beard, long black hair, like shoulder-length black hair. So that's why everybody wants Keanu Reeves to play him in a live-action sense, because he does look like that unmasked model in the Star Wars The Old Republic game, which he definitely does, but I know everybody has their thoughts on it. I don't want to get Lane started. But what I do want to get everybody started on is the Emperor Palpatine / Darth Sidious. I should say
we
Palpatine,
go from
Chancellor Palpatine.
Greater to maybe even greater.
Yes. So, guys, I'm going to do my best to help those who may not be diehard Star Wars fans who are curious and they want to make a decision on a Darth Sidious figure. I'm going to help you guys and kind of tell you where all these looks come from. So this particular version of the figure, which comes with 2 head sculpts and the main red robes and like that over black robe, you have his portrayal when he first gets confronted by the Jedi Council with Mace Windu and Kit Fisto and everybody, where he says, "It's treason."
Are you correct, Master Jedi?
Yeah. Are you threatening me, Master Jedi? It's treason, then. That look is, and I'm gonna get to that right now. That look is right here. So when he's being confronted by the Jedi, this is what you see. This is at this time Chancellor Palpatine. This is really cool, obviously, for a lot of reasons, because we don't currently have an actual like Palpatine figure from Hot Toys, like a Chancellor Palpatine figure. So this is super cool. And it's also really cool, and Chris, you and I were super hyped about this, that they went and did both looks. So it kind of screws you over, because you're like, damn, I kind of want both. It's a hard decision to make. Now this look right here is after the confrontation with the Jedi, where Mace Windu gets chucked off the edge to the window, and he pulls the hood over his head, and, he says, my resolve has never been stronger.
Do what must be done.
Yeah.
And this was kind of his look, wasn't it, also, when he does the meeting with the Senate?
Yes, he says, the attempt on my life has left me scarred and deformed. And then he says, but my resolve has never been stronger. And then he says that it's officially the new Galactic Empire, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. We get it, dude. You freaking won. We get it. But no, this is super cool. Hot Toys has kind of touched all their bases. The head sculpt, and I do have a close-up from 1/6 Lovers that I'll show you. The head sculpt is freaking incredible. Like, this is easily their best Sidious sculpt yet. You can see it here. Don't kill me! Someone has to pose their Sidious like that, like leaning back.
Unfortunately, this look is what gave me my favorite meme I've seen from Star Wars in a long title, where he's like, going, I'm too weak. I don't know. I'm
too weak.
Yeah, and then
I'm pretty sure this is the same look too when he's giving Anakin the orders.
The best part is when he's like,
go to the temple and stuff.
Oh yeah, I know, but I just remember the thing.
Yeah, see, he's by the window there.
Yeah.
He's telling him to, he pledges to him, and he's telling him to march on the temple and go to Mustafar and wipe out Viceroy and Gunray.
Yeah, but there's just so many options for this figure.
This is definitely
so
for the most
cool.
Interesting, probably what you can do with a Palpatine.
I know.
But he's I am the Senate.
I am the
Senate. Mike back in the chat. He just messaged. I have no clue.
Did I miss him? Mike. So guys, just to update you, Mike said he got stuck with a work call, so he does have to head out. So he's here in spirit. Yeah. He said, "So I'm too weak." I just love that after he's playing his little game and he gets Anakin to do what Anakin does. He goes, and then he just sits right back up like nothing happened. I'm like, I
guess you weren't really that weak after all.
Yeah, his skin's sizzling, and he's like,
Dude, that smirk, as soon as Mace goes out of the window, he's just like, oh my gosh. You just want to punch him in the face, because you're like, you mother, you did this.
Like you totally just. Well, it's because he's like so glad he just like. Well, I just got to. Well, I love that scene, especially where you see the big smirk and stuff and like that he's got, because if you actually recently, because I went to see it on Sunday, I just forgot like how the Emperor, he's looking all serious, but then when he jumps in and everything like that and starts murdering the Jedi, but you see the look of almost glee he has on his face, and he get ready to fire Mace, because it's like, I don't have to hold back. I don't have to hide. I just get to be completely unleashed and not have to hide anything. And he just is almost like super gleeful as he unleashes himself like he does.
My favorite thing about him is that he uses a lightsaber to toy with the Jedi, because he thinks that they're not even worthy.
Speaking of the lightsaber, Chris, I love that they posed him doing that stupid ass little stabbing motion that he does when he kills.
Dude,
it's so funny, dude.
He does that, and
that's another meme where he's like this, and he's like,
oh, his face is open, or his mouth is open, He did that to Mace too, that stabbing. Dude, I couldn't see anybody else besides Ian playing this character. The faces, he's just straight diabolical. And
well, it's awesome. Funny is because for all of it, he had an interview done just this last week or something, and it was interesting because the way he plays Paul, because there are definitely points where even now I can go back and say some of that feels like the cheesy overacting, but you never. Whereas there is perhaps some of the characters and acting in the movie, you feel the cheesy factor or a little bit of the acting, but even though there are specific moments where you can tell he is trying to play this is overly goofy, I don't know, 50s horror movie bad guy or something like that with his cheesy.
He did such a good, and the duality of the character,
that's the part what makes it work is because even like you guys were talking about, where he goes from that to 30 seconds later, where as soon as he puts the hoods up, he where he puts the hood over and he becomes serious again. He's still kind of the over the top bad
another
guy,
day in the office,
but the seriousness that he suddenly kind of almost you got to feel that joy of murdering a Jedi, but now he's focused once again on now we have to immediately turn to the next thing because we are in danger still possibly.
And Vengeance, I will say, I don't understand why they did Kit so dirty, because Kit Fisto is actually pretty badass in the Clone Wars show and the Tartakovsky Clone Wars as well. He was a pretty strong Jedi, and he just got deleted by Sidious so fast, dude. I was very surprised by that. He got deleted.
That
dude.
technique that he used, it's that technique, that stabbing technique or whatever.
It just wasn't. I guess they just weren't ready for it.
Even the in between being Palpatine and telling Anakin the story of Plagueis stuff, he's just just the smirks and grins, and you can see him reminiscing him killing his master, and it's crazy.
And you could hear the little bits of Sidious coming out as he's talking to Anakin, trying to convince him. Ever so slightly every single time.
Where he's I know you your anchor.
You want to kill me? Yeah.
I like it. He goes.
Well, even when he says "do it," when he kills Count Dooku, that little bit of Sidious comes out when he says "kill him."
Well, it's funny. One thing I never noticed.
Why Dooku looks so shocked?
Yeah, and why didn't Dooku? That's the
he never said anything.
Yeah, why didn't Dooku say, "This is him. This is Palpatine. I'm telling you, this is Emperor. This is
I know.
Sidious. This is the man you're looking for."
Before he dies, even just as a revenge.
And that's the other thing with Maul too. Freaking Sidious just tossed him in the trash after he got freaking chopped in half. He's just oh, whatever. He knew he was still alive. Why did Maul never rat him out? That's one of the questions that hurts my brain.
Let me answer something real quick. Big Dog Pound, they did not. I don't know how that rumor got started that there would be an extended cut or additional scenes. They did add Hayden speaking about the film as himself in the beginning before the movie played, but that was it. There's no special cut. There's no extended cut. It's all the same.
Take care, Beskar.
No.
Lane's like,
Hey, Yobo.
Yomo, 4 months, say hotline hot. He says, good. Thank you for being here, Yomo. I appreciate you, my friend.
You know, it's one thing I never noticed, though. Like, I just noticed when I was watching this weekend was at the moment where Anakin lights his lightsaber up and, you know, he's kind of, you know, threatening with it, is I never noticed, but if you look real close, Palpatine is moving his hand where he kept his, you know, up his wrist was his lightsaber. So he was moving it.
I love how he whips it out, dude.
Yeah. So he was actually moving.
Yeah, we've seen that before.
Yeah, he was moving it like he was prepared to pull out his lightsaber. And
he knew it was coming, bro. He knew it was coming. He could sense it. He knew they were on the way.
Yeah, but he was ready to defend himself if he needed to while playing that part. I hadn't noticed
ready
that
to spin
before.
on him. Yeah, and even in like you see him like that's like. It's so interesting how he like keeps his lightsaber hidden. Like even like in the Clone Wars cartoon when he fights Maul and Savage. He whips his sabers out like that. But of course he has dual sabers in the Clone Wars cartoon. We got Graham, the Jedi Night's Watch, in the house. What's up, my dude? Graham, I know you're probably excited for this figure. At least you better be. You better be, Graham, or I would think less of you, of course.
Do you think, because this is definitely based off the basic facial structure of the almost
so this, I was going to say that, Lane. So this is actually the same sculpt as the Clone Wars version, but it's definitely repainted. It's got more of a fleshy, like peachy tone versus like
it has a more
gross-looking necrotic sculpt of the other one. So I am glad they updated that because that would be really lazy and very inaccurate if they kept that original like gross looking Sidious sculpt. But yeah, this is definitely updated. That's why I had this pulled up. So thank you for reminding me because I almost lost my train of thought. And yes, Jose, I did see that. I saw the interview with Sam Witwer where he said they're going to go and explore that. That's kind of where that thought came to mind because I saw him talking about that. I'm like, that is very interesting how he never sold him out. But yeah, this sculpt is freaking incredible, man. This sculpt looks great. I really, really love it.
Until the point it was too late. Pretty much.
Right. And so Graham brings up another good point, which is part of the discussion we're having. Graham says, I'm excited for this figure. Thank you, Hot Toys, for announcing this before I purchased the other Revenge of the Sith. So, as I told you guys,
the one
thing I was going to mention where all these different looks came from. So we have the Chancellor Palpatine look. We have the confrontation with Mace Windu, where you have that same full red robe at first, and then you could put that scarred, deformed look as Palpatine describes himself. But then you have the Senate look where he addresses the Senate and says, you know, the attempt of my life, blah, blah, blah. This is the Empire now. But also, previously announced, releasing relatively soon, we have this look for Darth Sidious. And some people who are not very into Star Wars might be wondering, well, what's the difference? This is the look when Yoda confronts Sidious. So when Yoda throws him on his ass and he falls over the... That's another one.
So powerful you are. Why leave?
Yeah, when he tosses him and he falls on his ass out of the chair, that's like one of my favorite. And then they're throwing the Senate chairs at each other. This is that look.
Stop me. Lord Vader will become more powerful than others.
So I do feel like I think we can all agree, and we'll probably poll this since this is like our last topic. I do feel like this one's probably going to get dropped by a lot of people, as Graham is kind of mentioning here, like he had to make a decision between the two. Yeah, and that kind of, and I saw, you know, Illusion Entity was talking about how, you know, he feels like he's not really happy with a lot of the newer Hot Toys stuff, and he feels like, you know, he's more happy with the in-art stuff, and I understand. Everybody has their own likes and dislikes when it comes to 1/6 scale collecting. But yeah, Illusion, and when it comes to this is just Hot Toys, and that's how they've been for a long time. It might seem to sting even more now because they're doing it so much lately, but for years Hot Toys has announced multiple iterations of the same character. For years, like one's up on pre-order, they announced another one. I mean, and look what they just did recently, and we didn't get to talk about it because we didn't go live last week, but with the Range Trooper, you have a limited figure that people paid out a lot of money to get, some people, not like the highest value secondary market figure, but it had some value to it. It was pricey. And then they announced a version from Andor, which is almost identical, but better because it comes with more. It comes with the original, like, Graviton magnetic boots, regular boots, more blasters. That was, you know, kind of inexcusable to me. I'm like, that was very egregious, Hot Toys. Like, sometimes you can kind of cope and justify it. That Range Trooper thing was wild. I'm not going to spend any time to talk about that any further, but I'm with you on that, guys. I thought that was crazy. That was ridiculous. I'm like, that's dirty. That's very dirty. Very, very dirty. Yeah, that was a dirty move from them. Like some of the, like, I can excuse this, believe it or not, because I love this character so much. I think it's awesome that you could have the Yoda confrontation look, the Senate look, and then like the Chancellor Palpatine look. That to me is cool. And I think at this point, what the person they're really hurting, or I should say the group of people they're really hurting, are comic shops. Hot Toys has already made their money. When people pre-order an HK, they're paying all that money up front, from what I understand, or very close to it. They've made their money. They're really screwing over like Sideshow and comic shops and stuff that have these on pre-order. But yes, exactly. At least with Sidious, like you can kind of justify it because they're different looks for the character. That Range Trooper was straight up egregious. Very disrespectful. And I would think even more disrespectful than like them announcing a new, like, we had that Endgame stealth suit cap. That was a bit on the disrespectful side. As someone who owned that figure, I wasn't really that bothered by it because I'm like, I wanted the Winter Soldier one anyway. So that I got it.
Heavy Mando got it.
Heavy Mando, yeah. It's happened a lot, guys. It happens more than we think. And oftentimes, like, they'll put up multiple versions of the same character. Like, look, we got the armored Batman.
Look how many
2.0.
Boba Fett's were on pre. Like,
Boba Fett from the Mando show and from the Boba Fett, or from the Boba Fett
and
show.
there was even 2-packs with that one too. Like, you can get the same figure, Mando.
BVS
like,
Batman. There's the armored and the regular suit version, and then you had the tactical Batman that was still on pre-order at some point while those two were up. So yeah, it happens a lot. It happens a lot. But yeah, the Range Trooper, that one was puzzling. That was very puzzling. I'm like, that's pretty disrespectful.
I was in the
second Andor figure series of the line. You're like, really?
Yeah.
I was in the that group of like thinking about canceling, but then I was like, nah, I don't want to lose my NRD1. 2, the Yoda Sidious or whatever is gonna come out before this one, and I want a Sidious in my collection. And then 3, when this one does come out, instead of buying 2 of these, I can have those 2 and kind of swap head sculpts and do it that way instead of buying 2 of this release, if that makes sense.
No, I get it.
For me, I'm sticking with the Yoda one because that's actually the look I prefer. I like I like the open mouth sometimes too. Yeah, the 1/3, like kind of the final third of the movie look for the Emperor. The Emperor leads us into his final look at the end of Revenge of the Sith. Like, that is the look I prefer, so I'm going to stick with that one over this. Yeah. But this one is.
I do think the sculpt on this is stronger. Cool. The sculpt on this one is for sure stronger, but I do like the other one as well. And mainly, I really want the Palpatine. I want a Palpatine look and a Sidious look in the collection. So, but I just got to the place, man, so I'm going to have to dip out and enjoy celebrating the anniversary, what I can, what's left of today.
Happy anniversary, dude. We'll be ending out here very shortly, so you basically made it the whole stream. We appreciate you for going along the ride with us.
Yeah, man.
Godspeed, soldier.
Yeah. Hope you guys have a good night.
All right, you too, man.
See y'all next week.
See ya. All right. So I did just start a poll, guys. I'm calling the one that's currently on pre-order, well, previously was on pre-order prior to this announcement, old. It's obviously not old, but I'm curious to see everybody's thoughts on it. By the way, guys, Sidious and Nihilus are up for pre-order through Off the Racks. With all of these crazy tariff charges and everything with Sideshow, Off the Racks is going to save you a crap ton of money. I think out the door... Sorry, go ahead, Lane.
And also, you have to consider, because I'm considering Nihilus. Like, this guy for right now, I'm passing on because I've got Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine already. I'm running with that one because that's the look I prefer. This figure is definitely the overall slightly better figure, but you have to keep it. The one thing I would say to that, and you have to keep in mind, because like I'm considering getting through my LCS, picking up Nihilus, there might be some how much more extra could be put towards the retailers though by Sideshow.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, when it comes to Off the Racks, there's been no changes on that. But let's say Off the Racks in the future was like, hey, I got to charge an extra like 3%. That's still well below Sideshow's retail plus taxes plus shipping plus the tariff fee. Like, you're saving a lot of money. So if one of the mods wouldn't mind dropping links to Off the Racks. Again, I'm not prepared with those, but if you guys would like to pre-order them, you're going to save a lot of money getting from Off the Racks. I buy all of my non-exclusive stuff that I don't need day one from Off the Racks. And I think John over at Off the Racks is a great guy, and he does a great job. So highly recommend checking him out. And he has great prices. He offers shop pay in full, which we love. He's just that dude. I love John. So definitely check out Off the Racks.
And he has a point system, everything else.
And he has a point system as well. And he's very fair. He's flexible. Just a little bit of everything. And if 1/6 fix, says John, is clutch, I mean, you can't get a better recommendation than that. Thank you so much, guys, for chiming in. But Ultimate Hybrid says they exaggerated the height difference. Yeah, maybe the way they have him positioned. Real quick, I want to comment before we finish out here, guys. This Anakin has been like the topic of discussion because I will say, at least in these photos, the eyes do look more accurate to Revenge of the Sith with the correctly colored irises and everything. I don't know if that means anything. I'm on the side of, and I know this is a very split discussion, I don't think that most recent Artisan Vader is the Dark Side Anakin 2.0. I truly think that is an Ahsoka version. There's just too many things. The eyes being accurate to Ahsoka, the red and blue saber blades, the Ahsoka quote, "You lack conviction" from Ahsoka on the inner cover in the box. I think that's a Sith apprentice Anakin from Ahsoka, or Vader / Anakin from Ahsoka. So I truly could see another Dark Side Anakin maybe on the horizon eventually, whether it's artisan or sculpted. I see it happening, and I don't want to burst anybody's bubble who thinks that, you know, that's all that we're going to get, that a Sith apprentice, but I do see another one coming eventually. I know Lane's ready to kill me, but I think it's going to happen, Lane. I think it's going to happen.
No, I don't think it'll. I think we may get a sculpted, but I don't think it'll be another artist.
I just think Hot Toys lately has been so unpredictable. And, you know, I mean, with just all the shit that they're doing, the Range Trooper, Darth Nihilus. I know we kind of said it was a little predictable, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. They're just very much all over the place. So I could see it. But that being said, very, very excited to see that Sith apprentice Vader in person. I think he looks awesome. But it's also interesting to see these different eyes here. I don't know if Hot Toys is just playing with us in these particular photos or what, but I could see it happening. I could see him certainly doing it. And the biggest thing for me is, like, you're going to do an Anniversary Revenge of the Sith Anakin, let's say. And you're not going to do a lava base or like a lava platform. No shot. We're going to get another Obi. We're going to get another Anakin. I'm just calling it now, guys. And if we don't, hey, I'm happy to be wrong. But I have faith in the Chosen One. And I have faith in the secondary GOAT, which is our boy Obi-Wan. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what comes from the Revenge of the Sith Anniversary. I would love to see like a Newt Gunray. I know that's like an underrated choice, but I think it would be a really cool like alien side character. Maybe finally get some more clones, like some 41st Battalion. That would be sick. Maybe our 212th finally, the airborne and the regular. And, yeah,
after we got like the Wolf Pack and stuff before then and stuff.
Yeah, but I do. Yeah, Wolf Pack. We finally got that, so I could definitely see some really cool stuff coming from this, and I have faith.
Yeah,
Santa Kramer is not giving away this figure. No, that one's a little bit too high. I know Lane has given away some crazy statues and stuff, but this one he really wants, so he will not be giving this away.
No.
Not this one, but
I think Ultimate Hybrid points out. Yeah, this is legitimately like probably the closest to the look. And it's Anakin from the 2000 and the alternate end, like the dark ending to Revenge of the Sith, because his eyes are more along those lines. And well, in that one, the Emperor at the end just kind of gives him, you know, his Darth Vader traditional lightsaber, and then Anakin kills him and is like, I am now the ruler. And
that was surprisingly a really fun game. I really enjoyed that game. A lot of the movie games back in the day sucked, but that was a good one. Yeah, dude, Clone Trooper. That's all I could think about watching the duel on Mustafar again in theaters. Seeing those little burn holes in Obi's tunic and stuff. I'm like, man, that would make such a great figure. I would love to see a battle damage Obi from Mustafar. Yeah. Like, imagine if they do that, like a Mustafar version of Anakin and a Mustafar version of Obi, where they're like sweaty and burnt. That would be sick.
Oh, that would be cool. Do you think probably we may see a Revenge of the Sith 2.0 Obi-Wan? Does that feel like?
Oh, I think that
could be the most
likely.
Likely.
I think that's just for certain. Even they're going to reuse that head sculpt again potentially.
No, please update that head sculpt, please.
Please do. But like I said, I could see them reusing that head sculpt again, maybe with some slight tweaks. But they're definitely going to do another Obi. There's no doubt in my mind. As someone who owns 2 of the Revenge of the Sith Deluxes, they're going to do another one.
And the fact they put out like 3 within a year.
Right. That would be sick, Hybrid. We haven't seen too many merchandise pieces of that particular look, so that makes me think maybe not. But I would love to see, like, you know, meditation chamber Anakin, burnt Anakin, reassembled Anakin. I have a reassembled Anakin where he's on the table from years ago, an old 3.75 scale figure that I really love, as old as it is. It's really cool. But I'm down for any Anakins. You guys know me. Any Anakin I'm going to buy. Any Anakin's going to make its way to my collection. I'm excited for the Ahsoka show, Anakin in the Clone Wars General armor. I'm excited for that one as well. So, Big Dog Pound with the $1.99 super chat saying unlimited pre-orders. Thank you, Big Dog Pound.
That does feel like
too
what
kind,
we
my
are
friend.
in.
Pretty much, especially when it comes to Star Wars. Sean says, Hot Toys is 100% unpredictable. We can all hope for Revenge of the Sith 20th stuff to be announced on May 4th, and all we get is Jawa from Manda. I know, I mean, yeah, dude, there's been times where they've disrespected us on these anniversaries. Though I will say we have a lot going for us because Revenge of the Sith is the re-release in theaters is one of the best-selling re-releases in theaters of all time right now. I think since like as of like Saturday, it was like since 2011, and since it's obviously grown. So I think any plans they had to move forward with, Disney's probably like, get that shit out because we want to make some money. So I'm hopeful that if we don't get it all right now, it'll trickle in later. Still want to see that Jar Jar as well. That's the Phantom Menace got disrespected. Let's be real. We got like nothing from the Phantom Menace. But Revenge of the Sith, you know, Phantom Menace, it disappoints me. But the Revenge of the Sith, Hot Toys, don't disrespect us. Please. Please don't disrespect us. This is a great step in the right direction before May the 4th even starts. We got some awesome stuff. So, guys, by the way, this stuff is from an event. This is a Star Wars event that's ongoing. These are the first 2 announcements. Apparently, there could potentially be like 8 pieces from Hot Toys. I don't know if those would all be figures, but these are from an event. And yeah, Hybrid, I've said that many times. I would love to see like a Force Ghost version because they did them in Hasbro. They look a little cheap, but I like cheap stuff like that.
Man, well, we really need we need dual Emperor Palpatine cos babies.
That's exactly what I was hoping for, Lane. Annie, I love that. Classic meme. Guys, I'm going to close the poll now. It looks like, because I always forget to close the poll, I said Revenge of the Sith, New Sidious versus old, in quotations, because it's not really old. 84% said that they want the new version, which it's the better look. Let's be real. At least for me, it's the better look. I think it's, if anything, what we can agree on is it's like the ultimate package. It has everything. But yeah, guys, like I said, I wanted to make it a little bit shorter today, so that is going to wrap it up. Once again, guys, 69 people still watching. If you haven't already, please consider dropping a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. And also, don't forget, if you would like to become a Hotline Hottie, a channel member, click that join button or the links in the description as well. Also, links to Jeremy Casa from Plastic Hero Collectibles. If you want to try to get yourself a Sith Apprentice Vader, I think he's sold like 30 of them already. Everybody that's been commenting, sorry if I missed you. Like I said, there's a lot of comments coming through, a lot going on at the beginning of the stream, but I appreciate and love each and every one of you. Guys, again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for all of the super chats and the donations and everything. It's a rough time for me right now with all the pet stuff going on, and I do appreciate it. So I really, really, really appreciate you guys. It means a lot to me. Like I said, it's not even the dollar amount as much as it is the thought that you guys are thinking of me, and I appreciate it very much. So, but of course, you know, the donations will help me a lot because I just spent so much money on this vet bill, so I appreciate it, guys. Yes, Lane is a very neat guy, and you can see that. He's probably a lot neater than I mean, I'm not neat, but Lane is.
I don't know if I would go that far, but I'll take that.
Lane, let us give you a compliment. But guys, thank you so much, everybody who's hung out with us, chatted, donated, liked, you name it. And as always, if I missed your comment, I do apologize. But what an exciting time to be a collector. I wish we had time, and thank you so much, Boba Fettuccini. I wish we had time to go through like a May the 4th predictions list, but I got to cut it off here because I'm already kind of over where I wanted to be, but we're just having too much fun. But
well, what would be the one figure you would predict?
I would put...
Or you would like to see? What would be the one you would like
Magna Guard. I'm going to say one that I think for sure is going to happen is a Magna Guard.
You literally stole the words right out of my mouth because I had to do that on Sunday, and that was the one I said.
I think that's going to happen.
Well, they put out a Grievous, so they've already got.
I love their little.
Yeah, unfortunately, those guys came off like even a kind of little stupider than I remember them actually being than in the original movie because I was like, oh, these guys are gonna be cool. George. But I think Revenge of the Sith Obi in some form or fashion.
Yeah, I think that one's going to happen for sure. It's overdue at this point. And real quick, guys, I didn't show this, but here's 1/6 Lovers' awesome photos of Palpatine. The close-ups on the sculpt are just nuts. So, or I should say Darth Sidious. So I wanted to show that real quick. I forgot to. But yeah, Lane, really, really excited to see this stuff and see what happens for May the 4th.
Keep being positive, guys. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, really excited for May the 4th. Can't wait to see what comes out of it. Hopefully,
to see what's going to happen. I don't think Paul, as cool as those first two were, I think we'll at least get one or two more announcements by the end of the week.
Yeah, just have reserved expectations because sometimes we've come in really excited for these anniversaries.
They might give us Geonosis G1 battle droid. Give us
Kaiju's sticking to that Jedi Starfighter, man. He keeps throwing that out there. He's sticking to
Kaiju, man. I'm sorry, but you might have to go build your own at this point.
Right, because Jazz Inc. ain't doing it anymore, so I think, maybe he has to get a model kit or something. But, guys, once again, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, Lane, for being here. Chris, Mike, I appreciate each and every one of you. That's going to wrap it up. Take care, guys, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. EST. If I don't see you, may the 4th be with you.
All right, take care, everybody.